think it's easier, like I told you a minute ago, is the fact that you don't have to check your work. So that makes, I think, life a little bit easier. Also, the two situations are kind of explicitly drawn out for you. I think that makes it easier. The thing that makes it trickier is you've got to kind of go through the list and figure out what to use where. So, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So when you are solving absolute value inequalities, you need to figure out what type of situation you're working with. So there are two different things that can happen. So you can have an absolute value less than C, or you can have that same absolute value less than or equal to C, and these two things go together. You see why? Because they're both less than situations. Okay, so both of these go together. So if you come across either of these situations, then this is how you're going to create an inequality to solve. So negative C is less than AX plus B is less than C. Or if there's the equal to, it's going to be this. So write it down and I'll be over.
He found it.
He found it? Yes!
That's the same video, but he found it.
Okay. Oh, mine or his?
No, his.
Good. Even better.
Yeah.
Good. Because then it'll match exactly. Okay. Alright. So, here's what this means. If this is your absolute value and it's less than C, the solutions are going to live in between negative and positive C. If it's less than or equal to, then the solutions live in between negative and positive C, but could also be equal to C. So that's how we're going to set it up every time. Then, if you have the other situation, actually let's just stop there for a minute and do some of those problems. So let's see, that's going to be problem, look down at your list down here. Which problems does that help us with? A, what else? B, what else? That's it. Okay, so let's do A and B and then I'll show you the other one. I think that'll be easier to do it that way. Alright, so it says, kind of the same way we started yesterday, we need to get the absolute value by itself. Is it by itself?
Yeah.
Is it though?
No.
Who's over there with it?
1, 2, 2.
That pesky 2 is with it. So let's get rid of that first. So I've got 2m plus 5 is less than or equal to 7. So again, kind of the same start is that we're going to, same as yesterday, in the fact that we want to get the absolute value alone. Oh, my keys. That sounds like me. Thank you. Yeah. That tracks people. Okay. So this is my AX plus B, this business inside. That's the same business that we have right here. So we're going to pretend that's the same thing. This 7 is my C value. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2m plus 5. So basically you're taking what was in your absolute value, and we're going to set it so that it is less than or equal to 7, but greater than or equal to the opposite, which would be negative 7. So this is where your solutions are going to live. So this is a formula, kind of like we have the quadratic formula, we have other formulas to help us find solutions. This is our formula to help us find solutions here. So if you have a less than or a less than or equal to situation, this is how you will always deal with this. Now, we're going to solve it like we would an equation, but almost like there are 3 parts. So do you see how there's a part here? That's one of the parts. And then we've got this middle part. And then we have this third part over here. So do you see how there are 3 parts to that? So when we go through to do our solving process, we've got to deal with each of those parts. I'll show you what I mean. We want to solve for m. Do you agree m is not alone currently?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's first start by getting rid of the 5. Normally I'd say, okay, just subtract 5 from both sides. But there's more than both sides. There's 3 parts to this. So I'm going to subtract the 5 here, here, and also here. So this 5 is gone. Negative 7 minus 5 more is negative 12. Is less than or equal to 2m. Is less than or equal to 7 minus 5, which is 2. Okay. Is my m alone yet? No. Bummer. Okay. It's being multiplied, the 2 is being multiplied to m, so how can I undo the 2? Divide by 2. And we have to do all 3 parts. So again, that's kind of the weird thing here, is that there are 3 parts, and normally on an equation I just say, hey, solve both sides. So I gotta watch my vocab because it's different here. Alright, so I have negative 6 is less than or equal to m is less than or equal to 2 divided by 2 is 1. Alright, now it says solve. I did that. Check. What does it also tell me I need to do?
Graph.
Yeah. So let's graph the solution as well. So make me a number line. Again, I'm pretty easygoing with number lines. I only care that you have these numbers on it. So put 1 and put negative 6. Do you need to put all the numbers in the middle? No. Can you if you're a perfectionist and want it there? Yep. But you do not need to. Alright, now, do you see how these are equal to's? Okay, so close circle at both. Close circle, close circle. It tells me that m lives in the middle. So that's fine. I'm going to shade in the middle. So this whole bit right here is my solution because it wanted it written out, but then it also wanted the graph. And again, the graph is just a number line, so we don't need to go into like the Cartesian coordinate plane and graph lines. It's just a number line. Okay, let's look at part B and try that all over again. Is my absolute value by its lonesome? No, who's bothering it? The 8. How can I remove the 8? Subtract. Okay. So, absolute value of 6 plus 15, 6x plus 15, is less than or equal to negative 1. Okay. Now, I'm about to go through the whole process we just did. But before I do, I'm kind of stopped dead in my tracks. Because why? Yeah, can my absolute value ever be smaller than negative 1? No, because what numbers are smaller than negative 1?
Negative numbers.
Like more negative numbers. So this one is going to be no solution. So before you start any process of plugging stuff in, that one made me giggle too. Before you start any process of plugging in, you've got to look at it and be like, does this make any sense? If it doesn't make any sense, then you can't do anything more. Alright, so let's figure out how to do the other one. So what happens if we have a bigger than situation? So let's say we have ax plus b is greater than c. Or maybe we have ax plus b is greater than or equal to c. What if we have one of those situations? Then we treat it like this. We actually break it apart into 2 pieces. So kind of like yesterday. And again, I'm going to write the same thing down here, except instead of just having a greater than, it's going to have the equal to, bless you, underneath that, bless you. Hold on. There you go. Better? Okay. So this is our formula, basically, that tells us where our answers live. So if you have a greater than situation with your absolute values, and you want to know where your solutions live, this formula helps you find that region.
Well, it's
put this one on the formula sheet or not, but I will look, because I already printed off the formula sheet, so I can tell you in a minute. Okay, let's look at another one. So these two both kind of go along with that same formula that we just looked at, because they're both greater than. Okay, is my absolute value by itself? Yeah, it's by itself. So it tells me to take my absolute value and make it greater than C. Well, in this case, C is 0.5a plus 4. Oh. Hold on, I have something written in my notes. Just kidding. Switch this so it's just 4. Sorry, there's no 0.5a in the example problem. That snuck in there somehow. Okay, so put it like this. I'm so sorry. I'm looking at my notes and I don't have the 0.5a in them. Okay, the other one. We're going to take the same thing, 5.5a plus 2, and then we're going to go less than negative 4. So this is my C value. So there's the positive, there's the negative. And then we need to solve down both. So let's start with the one on the left. How could I solve down this one? Subtract 2. So 5.5a is greater than 2. Then what? Yeah, divide by 5.5. 5.5 is a positive number, so I don't have to worry about flipping any signs. And then when you divide, you get 0.36, and that 36 repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. So this is the answer you get from that side. Let's go over to the other part. And again, we have the word or in between. So the word or is important. Or and are two important words in math because it's going to be one or the other. We can't use both. So in this case, we have an or situation because one part could be true or the other, but both can't be true at the same time. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. If I'm solving this one, what should I do first? Subtract the 2. 5.5a is less than negative 6. Then what? Yeah, divide by 5.5 on both sides. So a is less than, and if I go to my calculator, I've got negative 6 divided by 5.5, which gives me this beauty. Yeah, negative 1.09, and that 0.9 is going to repeat. Alright, so let's draw our number line. Again, I'm only going to make you put these numbers on your number line. So the negative one should go further to the left. This one should go over here. No, you don't need to write the numbers in between. Alright, so it says that it's bigger than 0.36. So open circle, and which way should I shade? To the right. This one says smaller. What kind of circle? It's open as well and shade to the left. Okay. Let's try another one that's similar to that. The region in between is not where solutions live. So if you picked a number bigger than 0.36, so you can pick any number. Do we agree 1 is bigger than 0.36? Yeah. If you plug 1 in, this is going to give you a true statement. 5.5 times 1 is 5.5. 5.5 plus 2 is 7.5. What's the absolute value of 7.5? Is 7.5 bigger than 4? Yes. So if you wanted to go back and check, you can do that and make sure that your answer makes sense. If you tried to plug in 0, do you see how 0 would be in the no region? Okay, so if I plugged in 0, this would be 0 plus 2, which is 2. Absolute value is 2. Is 2 bigger than 4? No. So that's why we don't shade in this region, because those wouldn't work. And so if you don't trust it, you can plug them back in to double check and see, like, is this really where my solutions live? Yes.
So if it's a greater than symbol, then you wouldn't have any lines in the center?
Right, so I call it like the sandwich. So if you have a less than, you have a sandwich situation where it's in the center. If you have a greater than situation, I call it the extremes.
Okay.
So meaning it's going to the extremes on both ends, it's not gonna be the part that's sandwiched in the middle.
Okay.
So that tends to be my verbiage, just so you guys know. Let's do part D. For part D, my absolute value is very much not alone. How can we make it alone? Add the 13. Perfect. Let's start there. Okay, so I have the absolute value of 3x minus 12 over 4 is greater than 18. Alright, it's still not alone. What should I do next? Multiply by 4. So always think opposite. So this is going to say 3x minus 12 is greater than something. I'm going to steal my answer, 72. Alright, so do you see how once we've simplified it down, we ended up with a situation like this? We have an absolute value with stuff inside of it, and it's greater than a number. So I'm going to go ahead and plug into this formula then. This formula is going to help me solve. So 3x minus 12 is greater than 72, or 3x minus 12 is less than negative 72. Hold on, if I'm off the screen. Oh, I'm actually on the screen. Nice. Are we okay so far? Let's solve the one on the left. What could I do first? How can I get rid of the minus 12? Add 12. So 3x is greater than 84. Then what? Divide by 3. X is greater than, I think this is nice, 28. Okay, let's solve the other side. What should I do first? Add the 12. Okay, 3x is less than negative 60. Now what? Divide by 3. Notice I'm not dividing or multiplying by any negative numbers, so I don't have any inequalities flipping here. These cancel. X is less than negative 20. Draw me a number line. On your number line, you need negative 20 and you need 28. I'm not going to make you write all the stuff in the middle. Okay, this one says bigger than 28. Open or close circle? Open. And where are numbers bigger than 28? To the left or to the right? Okay. This one says smaller than negative 20. Open or close circle at negative 20? Open. Which way should we shade? Yes. Alright, I think we need to do a couple more of these together. That's just kind of my gut feeling. Let's start the homework together as one big happy family. So go ahead and take out a sheet of paper like you're starting homework. And we're gonna start it together and just do a little more practice. I'm a very big person on repetition, like try it again, try it some more, and like eventually we get better at it. So for homework tonight, we have, like I said, we're gonna start it together. We're on page 89. And tonight we're gonna do 11 to 17. So again, not a ton of problems. And again, my goal behind that being that I would rather have you do a couple really well than do a ton and not give them as much care. Alright, so we're gonna start these together. So happy together. My room sounds like it's really hot. And it is all the way down, people. asked about that. Okay. In other teachers' rooms too?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Number 11 says 2x plus 2 minus 7 is less than or equal to negative 5. Okay. So I'm going to explain to you kind of what's going through my head. So here's Miss Vessel. Over here. She's got some big hair today. Probably smiling. I'm going to go with probably smiling. The first thing I'm thinking, so these are my little thought bubbles. My first thought bubble says, get the absolute value alone. Is it alone? No. So that's my first thought bubble is, hey, this is what I need to do. So I'm going to add over the 7, because that's going to help me tremendously. So 2x plus 2 is less than or equal to 2. My next thought bubble is, does the problem make sense? Remember, if it doesn't make sense, it's a no solution. Can it be less than or equal to 2? Yeah. That's fine. It's the negative numbers where we have issues. Now, can it be a negative number? No. But it can be less than or equal to 2. It's just also going to have to, at the same time, stay bigger than 0. Okay. My next question to myself, or not question so much, is to plug it in the formula. Plug into correct formula. Okay, so that's the next thing Miss Vessel is thinking. So I'm going to go to my formula sheet. If it is less than or equal to, should I be using the top formulas or the bottom? Top. So I need the top formulas, and it's less than or equal to. So I need this formula in particular. This is the one I'm going for. So I'm going to put what's in my absolute value in the center. So what's in my absolute value goes in the center. I feel like I hear music. Make sure you don't have music on. Remember, we shouldn't have music or technology or any of the things. Then it says less than or equal to C, but greater than or equal to negative C. So do you see how I picked the formula and plugged it in? Okay, so now, do you see how we have a 3-parter for this one? Because it's a sandwich. And we should expect a sandwich graph as well. Alright, let's start solving. How can I, so now Miss Vessel over here is thinking solve for x. And I'm thinking also, be careful because there are 3 sides. I heard somebody say subtract 2. Yup. Let's do that. Negative 4 is less than or equal to 2x is less than or equal to 0. Am I solved? No. No. Let's keep going. Divide by 2. Negative 2 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 0. Now am I solved? Yes. And so now my last thought to myself, I mean I have so many thoughts every day, but my last thought right now about this problem is I need to graph it. So I'm going to go ahead and make my number line. Remember that I care about 0 and I care about negative 2, and I'm not going to make you graph anything else because we already have plenty of work to do. Open or close circles at 0 and negative 2?
Closed.
Closed. So I can put that over here as another thought. Open or close circles. And where to shade. Okay. So now, if I am living in between those values, where should I shade? In between the values. Okay. Perfect. Let's do one more together because the next one is the other type. Sound good? And then I'm going to let you loose on the rest on your own. please don't draw creepy Miss Fossils on your homework though. That's gonna weird me out. Oh, you already did? Okay, just kidding. Yes, draw pictures of me on your homework. Yes, please. Yes, please keep doing that actually. Alright, X over 2. I did not know that would cause a problem.
It's okay, your face is only a little smudged.
Okay, that's fine. No judgment. You've obviously seen what my pictures look like. X over 2 minus 5 plus 2 is greater than 10. Alright, here comes Miss Fossil again. Again, she's got kind of some big hair today. You guys still haven't seen my real hair yet. My hair actually curls. Not that much. But my hair curls, and so if I let my hair go, it will. One day I won't blow dry and straighten and all the things, and it happens. Okay. Get the absolute value alone. Here's my thought bubble. My thought bubble is get the absolute value alone. Alright, it's not alone, right? What should I do? Subtract 2. Alright, so x over 2 minus 5 greater than 8. My next one is, does the problem make sense? Does it?
Yep.
Yeah, we can be bigger than 8.
Yeah.
Does the problem make sense? In this case, the answer is yes, so we're going to keep going. Then, my next thought is I need to plug into the correct formula. Plug into correct formula. So let's go to our formula sheet. Top or bottom for this one? Bottom. So we have this situation, agree? Okay, so we're going to take the stuff that's in the middle. We're going to take this x over 2 minus 5. And we're going to make it greater than 8, which is what's already sitting there. Or, this is an or situation. We're going to take what's in there, and we are going to make it less than the negative version. And now, it's almost turned into a weird game of ESP. Now what's Miss Vessel thinking? What should I do next? Solve for x. Solve both in this case. Solve both. Alright. Add 5 to both sides on both of them, right? We're going to kind of go the same route. So x over 2 is greater than 13. Over here, I'm going to add 5 to both as well. I'm just going to kind of solve them simultaneously here. Negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3. Alright, they aren't quite solved yet. What should I do? Yeah, multiply by 2. So I get x is greater than 26. I get x is less than negative 6. And then my next thought is to number line. Graph correctly on the number line. Graph on number line. Okay, here's my number line. Again, I'm not going to make you put all the things on it. Here's, bless you, negative 6. Here's 26. Open or close circles? Open. Okay. This one says bigger than 26. So here's 26. Which way should I shade? To the right, to the right. If I was over here with my bubbles, I'd be like, now Miss Vessel is singing the Cupid Shuffle in her head. Okay. Open or close circle, we already did that. Open circle, and then it says less than negative 6. To the left. Okay. Good? So this whole bit right here is your answer. So if you're like, what is my actual answer? This whole thing. Because this is telling me my answer algebraically, this is telling me my answer graphically if I want to look at the picture. And if you pick a number, like negative 7, and you plug it back into the original, it should work. If you pick a number, like 30, and you plug it back into the original, it should work. If you pick a number like 0, should it work? No. Okay. You keep going. 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17.
Can you put the questions up?
Yes, I will put the questions up. Sorry, that was my mic drop moment. I was like, and pen drop. Hold on, let me stop the video.